I work at a mid-sized marketing agency where everything feels like a constant rush. We live on coffee, deadlines, and passive-aggressive emails from management. My boss, Mike, has always been the kind of guy who watches one motivational video on YouTube and suddenly thinks he's Tony Robbins. Every Monday morning, without fail, he sends us inspirational quotes like, "Hustle harder, sleep later," or "There's no traffic on the extra mile." None of us ever reply. We just roll our eyes, sip our lukewarm coffee, and brace for another week of chaos. One Friday morning, though, Mike decided it wasn't enough to email motivation. No, this time, he wanted to perform it. He scheduled a mandatory team meeting for morale building at 8:30 a.m. sharp, which already sounded suspicious. He said it would change the way we think about work forever. Most of us assumed it would be another one of those pointless PowerPoint sessions with stock photos of people high-fiving. We were wrong. We walked into the conference room, still half asleep, and immediately knew something was off. The lights were dimmed. There was upbeat music playing from someone's Bluetooth speaker. And there, standing at the front of the room, was Mike wearing gym clothes. He had on one of those headbands that people stopped wearing in the 80s, a bright yellow shirt that said "Rise and Grind," and track pants. He was holding a whistle. "Good morning, team," he shouted, clapping his hands like a boot camp instructor. "Today, we're going to break out of our comfort zones." Nobody spoke. You could hear someone's coffee machine buzzing faintly in the background. He continued, "We're not just marketers today, we're warriors of productivity." I glanced at my coworker, Sam, who mouthed, "Oh no." Then Mike ordered us to stand up and push the chairs to the side of the room. He said he had prepared a team energy activation circuit. That's right, our 8:30 a.m. meeting had turned into a workout session. He started leading us through jumping jacks, lunges, and something that vaguely resembled yoga. The problem was, Mike hadn't worked out in at least a decade. Within 5 minutes, he was sweating so much that his motivational headband started slipping into his eyes. At one point, he tripped over his own foot and nearly face-planted into the conference table. The rest of us tried to keep straight faces, but when he yelled, "Push past your limits," and then groaned while clutching his knee, it was over. The entire team burst into laughter. That's when things took a turn. Apparently, Mike wasn't just doing this for fun. He had set up a live stream on the company's internal chat platform called Motivation Friday, thinking people from other departments would join in. So not only was he embarrassing himself in front of us, the entire company was watching. Someone from accounting even commented, "Is this a hostage situation?" Mike, red-faced and breathing heavily, tried to recover by switching gears. "All right, team," he said, still panting. "Let's channel this energy into a creative brainstorming session. Grab some sticky notes and write down your biggest professional dreams." We did. Mostly nonsense like nap during work hours or replace coffee machine with margarita bar. Mike didn't read them, though he was too busy trying to catch his breath and wipe sweat off his laptop. And then came the moment none of us could have predicted. He opened his laptop to share his screen and accidentally projected his personal notes onto the big meeting room TV. And on that screen, in giant font, were the words, "Talk about the importance of purpose. Mention how I'm tired of this job. Build up to my surprise resignation. Make it sound empowering." The room froze. For a few seconds, nobody said anything. Then Sam, the bravest among us, asked, "What's that last line about?" Mike looked at the screen, realized what we were seeing, and his face went completely pale. He fumbled to close the presentation but only managed to open his email. And right there in his drafts folder was a message addressed to our CEO with the subject line, "My resignation, time for a new chapter." He finally shut the laptop, but the damage was done. Half the team was biting their lips to stop laughing, the other half just stared in shock, trying to save face. Mike said, "Okay, that was just a demo of how to be honest with your goals." But Sam, who clearly had zero interest in keeping this quiet, replied, "So, the goal is quitting." At that point, Mike just sighed, sat down, and said, "You know what? Maybe." He told us he'd been planning to give an emotional speech about finding meaning in life and following your dreams, and that this motivation session was supposed to end with him resigning dramatically. He wanted to record it, post it on LinkedIn, and go viral as the inspirational guy who left corporate life behind. The problem? He accidentally scheduled the meeting 1 week early. The resignation email was supposed to go out next Friday. It was one of the most awkward silences I've ever experienced. Finally, our HR rep, who'd been sitting quietly in the back, said, "Well, Mike, since this is technically a live announcement, does that mean you're resigning now?" Mike blinked twice. Then, slowly, nodded. And just like that, our boss quit. Mid-meeting. Dressed in gym clothes. Holding a whistle. After that, he stood up, grabbed his water bottle, and said, "Well, team, I guess that's all the motivation I had left to give." Then he walked out. Nobody knew what to do next. We just sat there, still processing everything. Sam finally said, "So, are we still doing the sticky note dreams thing?" Everyone burst out laughing again. It was the only reasonable reaction. By lunchtime, the whole company knew. Someone had screen recorded part of the live stream, and it spread through the internal chat like wildfire. The clip of Mike slipping during lunges while yelling "no excuses" became an instant meme. People even made GIFs of it and added captions like "when you try to quit professionally but gravity has other plans." Later that afternoon, HR sent out a polite but vague email. "We wish Mike the best in his future endeavors. Please direct all management questions to interim leadership." Translation: Mike's gone, and we have no idea what's happening next. That weekend, out of pure curiosity, I checked LinkedIn. And there he was, a fresh post from Mike. It read, "Today I took a leap of faith. Sometimes you don't choose the moment, a moment chooses you. Don't be afraid to walk away from what no longer serves you." The video attached. The exact clip of him quitting mid-meeting. He had posted it himself. It got over 40,000 likes and hundreds of comments from strangers calling him brave, inspiring, and authentic. Meanwhile, the rest of us were just trying to figure out who was approving the next client budget. The funny thing is, after he left, our team actually did start feeling more motivated. Not because of his speech, but because the office suddenly felt lighter. Meetings got shorter, deadlines got clearer, and we even started a new rule. No motivational quotes before 10 a.m. now. Every Friday, we still call our morning check-in Motivation Friday. But instead of push-ups and forced enthusiasm, we just bring donuts, laugh about the week, and get actual work done. And every time someone says they feel like quitting, Sam just says, "Remember what Mike taught us: if you're gonna quit, do it in style." Authors comment, "Sometimes the most motivational thing someone can do is accidentally show you what not to do."